Hey guys, Flaccid Baron here, and we have another Dev Talk. Well, actually, it's two Dev Talks to watch today. So they released this Roads of Avalon Dev Talk about a week ago. The first one, the part one, but it was only 3 minutes long. So I was like, I'm just going to wait for part two to come out. So today, part two has come out. I did watch part one already on stream, but I haven't watched part two yet. So that one is going to be fresh. But let's go over part one first. Let's watch through the 3 minutes of part one. And let's see all the new stuff coming out in the Roads of Avalon. One of the most exciting things coming to Albion in
Hello
a
and
while.
welcome to another Albion Online Dev Talk. Today I want to talk about the Roads of Avalon, an exciting new feature coming to Albion with the next content
Very
update.
exciting.
The Roads of Avalon allow players to travel to distant places in Albion, explore an entirely new environment with new ways of finding resources and treasures, and even allow players to live within this new environment, far away from the politics and the warfare of the Outlands. They are ideally suited to small group gameplay since they have unique mechanics which limit the number of players that can effectively enter the roads at the same time. As you can see, we have a lot to talk about with this feature, which is why we've split this topic into multiple videos. In today's video, we'll
Okay, so he said multiple. Does that mean there's going to be a part three? Because there's part one and part two. Obviously, if there's part one, there's at least going to be a part two. But he said multiple, which I mean, multiple means two. But maybe there's a part
talk
three
about
as well.
the basics of how to find the roads of Avalon and how to use them to get around the world of Albion. To enter the roads, you'll have to find a gateway to Avalon. These mystical passageways have a limited capacity for how many players they can pass through in each direction, and once used...
So one thing I
have a
just
limited
noticed, which is kind of interesting. So if you look at the mini-map here, it said you have to find a gateway to Avalon, right? It doesn't look like it's going to be very hard to find them if this is how it's going to be on the mini-map. You see, like, they're very clearly marked. So I wonder if they're always going to spawn here, or if it's like every reset, maybe it'll change. Because, like, it's the same as like a Hellgate, right? Like the Hellgate's always marked here. So I wonder if they're marked on the map like this, if people are just going to be waiting for them, if waiting till they can get in, or what. Because, I don't know.
Find a gateway to Avalon. These mystical passageways have a limited capacity for how many players they can pass through in each direction, and once used, will need some time to recharge before additional players can pass. Gateways can come in different sizes with different capacities. The smallest...
Okay, so this is one thing we were looking at. What is this cape, man? Right? Like, what is this? It's got, like, green glowing stuff. It's got, like, this really cool trim on it. It's like over the shoulders completely. Like, this isn't new armor or anything, is it? Like, it would have to be a new cape, right? So the only thing I can think of is this is a cosmetic thing, which is really cool if they're adding new cosmetics, because they haven't added new cosmetics yet. So this would definitely be really cool. I like it. I like the cape. It looks really nice.
Will only let 2 players pass before its capacity is depleted, while the largest ones will allow small to medium-sized groups to pass. The gateways also have a limited lifetime, so be sure to check the remaining lifetime if you plan to return to where you started. Once you enter a gateway, you'll find yourself in the ancient kingdom of Avalon, more specifically on its fortified road network. These ancient structures were erected eons ago by the Avalonians, and with their return and...
It's really cool. You can see a bunch of the new weapons. So, like, you just saw there was the axe and the holy staff, the axe.
Months ago by the Avalonians, and with their return...
Right here is the daggers. So...
and the reshaping of the world, they have begun to reactivate the machinery and the magic that opens gateways between different sections of the roads and the mainland of Albion. The physical roads themselves connect different possible gateway positions, and they are kept free of creatures and enemy by Avalonian magic. In fact, you can use the power imbued in the roads to speed you along as you're traveling to your next gateway.
His little speed boost on the road. That's really cool.
Each gateway connects either to the Outlands, the Royal Continent, or a different section of the roads.
Let's look at these maps.
The Outlands, position.
So this guy is running through. It looks like it's a gathering road of Avalon. So there's like a bunch of cloth, or not cloth, leather, a bunch of hides to be gathered here. And then there's also an ore resource node. And then I guess, so look, it's like there's a blue and there's a green. So I wonder if that means, so he's about to travel through a blue.
Each gateway connects either.
And see, when he goes through the blue, it goes into another road of Avalon. So I wonder if it's color coded by like, you go to a road or you go to the actual, continent. I wonder if that's how the color coding works, because we were wondering how the color coding works, because there's also, as you can see, there's smaller portals that are green here, and then there's larger ones that are blue. But then at the same time, like, is there a limited number of people allowed out, as in like
to the Outlands,
that doesn't make any sense.
The Royal Continent, or a different section of the roads of Avalon. As you're exploring, you're sure to find exciting shortcuts through the world of Albion, which you can use to transport, to trade, to outmaneuver your enemies, or to simply access resources and dungeons far away from your starting position. Remember to keep track of the
So what he said right there, I don't know if I really like that.
your
So
starting position.
here, right here again.
Remember to keep track of the outmaneuver your enemies.
So right here, outmaneuver your enemies, which means you can find one of these portals, which again are clearly marked on the map, and you can just run right through while in combat. It would seem, because look, he's clicking on it. He got hit, so we know he got hit, and he's in combat. But it looks like he can just zone through immediately, which I guess is the same for if you run into the gates of the map. Like, you can just zone through if you get hit, as long as you don't hit them back. But at the same time, like, hideouts are already an issue like this. Hideouts are the same thing. So if you have a hideout and you get attacked, you can just instantly run in there and escape from gankers. There's no channel, there's no nothing. So it looks like it's the same thing with these. So it's just more ways for people to escape. So gankers, again, aren't gonna, small gank groups, again, are getting punished. The 20-man gank groups aren't gonna have a problem, because, 20-man gank groups, it's hard to escape either way.
Remember to keep track of the remaining lifetime of each gateway as you pass through, because the roads of Avalon are constantly shifting, and each gateway may soon disappear forever, only to reopen to a different location in Albion.
It's pretty cool.
This concludes our first look and introduction to the roads of Avalon. Join us again for the next Dev Talk, where we'll talk about what happens when you leave the roads themselves and venture into the wilderness beyond.
All right, boys, part 2. Let's get it.
Hello and welcome to another Albion Online Dev Talk. Today, we're going to continue our look at the roads of Avalon. In the last video, we explained how you can find a gateway to Avalon, how you can travel on the ancient Avalonian roads, and how you can use this as a shortcut between different places in Albion. Now, we'll talk about exploring Avalon beyond the roads themselves, what rewards and activities you can find, and how these activities are ideally suited for solo and small group gameplay.
Cool. I like
If
solo.
you take a look at the map in Avalon, you will see that the roads are shaped in a very distinct way in the form of a rune or a symbol.
Interesting.
This makes it easier to recognize sections of the roads that you have already visited, and means you're less likely to get lost in the ever-shifting network of road sections.
So there's a lot of new stuff there. Maybe he'll go over it. If he doesn't,
you will also notice that there are paths besides the roads themselves. We call this the Wilderness of Avalon. When exploring the wilderness, you will come across a variety of different places, from simple forest paths to resource sites, to Avalonian camps, and to dungeon entrances. The paths make up the majority of the wilderness, and they can be used as shortcuts to avoid possible encounters on the main roads or for exploration. The resource sites are areas in the wilderness in which you'll find a concentration of harvestable resources. There are also elemental spirits guarding these sites, and unlike in the open world, here they appear as veteran and elite versions too. They're much harder to defeat, but they yield significantly more resources than their regular counterparts. If you're lucky, you'll encounter one of the new aspects or guardians at these sites as well, which now exists for Tier 7 and Tier 8. These yield very large amounts of resources and can now be enchanted all the way to enchantment level 3 as well. Resource
Cool.
sites in the Avalonian wilderness are marked on the map.
Yo, honestly, I don't like gathering, but this kind of makes me want to gather. Like, this makes me want to get my tier 8 gathering. Oh god, I'm already thinking about it now though. Oh, it's gonna take so many hours.
But it is up to you to discover their tier and the strength of the spirits protecting the resources. The next type of
Oh, is that the
location
new curse staff? What was that? Look right here. This looks like the new cursed, maybe? Looks sick.
The next type of location you can find are Avalonian camps. Here, the Avalonians and their constructs have begun to collect artifacts and valuable treasure from the overgrown ruins of Avalon. Players can attempt to take these treasures, but the chests will only open once all Avalonians at the sites have been defeated.
Interesting.
These camps exist from Tier 4 to Tier 8 and in versions
Okay.
for solo players, for small groups, and elite versions for groups of about 10 players.
Okay. Yeah, see, that's what I was going to ask. Like, I was wondering, Avalonian mobs, I don't know if you guys have ever done an Avalonian dungeon, but those things are tough. There's no way a group of 5 is going to go clear that unless they're in, like, really good gear. So, or it's going to take forever. But, yeah, different levels is really good for different group sizes.
Camps are also marked on the map, but you will have to explore them to discover their tier, and you'll have to defeat the treasure's protectors to discover its value. Finally, there are
5K
also
fame.
dungeon entrances in the wilderness of
Not a lot.
Avalon. These lead to the same solo, group, and elite randomized dungeons as you know from the open world, but the power of Avalon grants you a significant boost to fame and loot.
Interesting.
These dungeons are significantly more rare than in the open world, however.
Okay. Yeah, so I was wondering, when he said there's also group dungeons, it's like, why do them? But then they're more loot, more fame. Okay.
As you can see,
Seems about
there's a lot of valuable treasure and fame to be found in the wilderness of Avalon. You just have to find it. Some of it you can claim on your own, but some of it is so valuable and difficult to acquire that you may want to tell your friends or your whole guild about it. Be quick to get there when you do, since the way will soon disappear in the mists. When you've managed to get your hands on something valuable, remember you still have to bring it home safely. Speaking of homes, this concludes today's video. But be sure to tune in for the next time, where we'll talk about how you can build your own hideout in Avalon and what it takes to live in a constantly shifting labyrinth of ancient gateways and paths.
Cool. So there is going to be a part 3. One of the things I noticed back on these maps, so when he first showed the map, the big maps, let's see. So, okay, there's a lot of cool stuff here, a lot of different than part 1. So part 1, there was only thing we saw was green and blue portals. So here there's a blue portal with like a golden swirl, which is interesting. Maybe this is like, it leads to like a better zone because it's golden, right? Like you'd think this is like the good one. This is where you want to be. This looks like where they entered. So this yellow part is where they entered. These green parts probably lead deeper into Avalon, or like maybe these lead out and these lead deeper or something. I'm not sure. But then as you can see, like he went over all these chests that are cool around here, like these little camps. There's also the materials, and then there's the static dungeons here. So those are pretty cool. Let's see the other maps. Let's just try to analyze these maps really quick. So then here you have different colored chests. So there was green chests here, which, as you guys know, are the uncommon chests. So these are the lowest tier of chest. Then you get a little bit deeper, and it looks like legendary chests, I guess, are these yellow ones. That's all I know is the yellow chests are legendary chests. There's also so if you check out this is a blue entrance right here. And then you go one more, this is a yellow entrance on this static, which is new to the game. I've never seen an entrance to a static with yellow. So I'm guessing that maybe it's like an Avalonian dungeon, because the Avalonian dungeons have like the yellow light coming from them. Also, again, 2 blue portals, some resource zones. And then lastly, I think this is the last map. So then you got blue chests. Again, a golden swirl around this green one. Another green and 2 more blue portals, some blue chests. So It looks like this might be the highest level of zone, right? Because it has the legendary chests and it has the yellow dungeon entrance. So I think maybe it's like a little. So this is like you go in. This is the lowest level. It's got just the green chest, blue dungeon, whatever. Then you skip over to the third map. So now you go a little bit deeper. You're in the third map. So you come out here. So he came out of this golden area, it looks like anyway. And then you have the blue chests. And then lastly, you go to the second map. So then he goes through another one, comes through to this second map here. And this is like the deep one. So this is where you're going to find the good dungeons, the good loot, maybe the good, like, resource mobs. Like you said, there's going to be new resource mobs. Which, again, makes me want to level up crafting. But at the same time, I'd rather just PvP. And these, honestly, my what I'm taking from this right now, these are kind of like Hellgates, like 5v5 Hellgates, but with way more stuff to do. So you're going to be in here with a group of 5 or about 5 to 10. And then there's going to be another group of about 5 to 10, maybe even a third or fourth group of about 5 to 10. And there's going to be big fights. So like there's points of interest, just like in a Hellgate. The points of interest are the bosses, of course. And then there's like the best things. So like this chest, for instance, looks like it's like the best thing to get because look, it's like surrounded by this like cool stuff. It's a legendary chest. So like this is like the final boss, I suppose. But yeah, these things seem like open world Hellgates almost. Like the whole zone is a giant Hellgate. Obviously, there's also corrupted dungeons, but those are like okay. They're taking a 5v5 Hellgate and they're going up with it with these Roads of Avalon and making it way more stuff to do inside the Hellgate or the Road of Avalon. And then they're also taking corrupted dungeons, which takes the Hellgates, even the 2v2s, and brings it down to make it 1v1. So I am so excited, guys, for this update. It's going to be amazing. Thank you guys for watching and stay soft.